Recognizes Ms. Luna for 5 minutes.
New at this. I just want to thank the chairman and all of the witnesses for participating. I know it's been a long day, so I'll try to keep this short. COVID improper payments continue to be an area of concern that in the federal government due to lack of oversight from the Biden administration. As Representative Boebert had stated, estimates range as high as $560 billion of government COVID spending was subject to fraud, waste, and abuse. That's our hard-earned taxpayer dollars that could have been used to feed families, heat homes, and fill up the pump during the Biden-caused inflation crisis. President Biden continued to approve COVID spending with no guardrails in place to make sure that the money was going where it was intended to go. We have seen the federal government spending and distributing to illegal immigrants. These same illegal immigrants, mind you, that did not take or pass the health screening process for legal immigrants to come here. And in addition to that, they did not pay into our taxpayer system. I would like to submit the graphic into record. We can see that the city of Chicago is sending $71 million for financial assistance for underserved communities such as undocumented residents. The state of Washington is handing out $340 million in grant payments for immigrants or illegal immigrants who are not otherwise eligible for federal stimulus. And the city of Boston is sending $1 million in direct cash transfers to illegal immigrants who are unable to receive federal COVID benefits. This rewards a dangerous process, incentivizing people to come here illegally, where some have estimated that a shocking 60% of Latin American children who cross the border, largely because they are seeking the American dream and understand some of the benefits people offer in this country, are caught by cartels, exploited for child pornography and drug trafficking. These are not cherry-picked fact or distorted figures. This is actually happening. My question is for Mr. Horowitz. If illegal immigrants are prohibited from federal public benefits, then why are they allowed to receive federal COVID dollars from programs like the American Rescue Plan?
I would have to go back and look at each program and what was how eligibility determinations were made and who was eligible. And I'm happy to follow up with you and provide information to you. We're looking at anybody who's ineligible. Frankly, we don't break it down between the categories as to why. So we're looking for people who are ineligible. We're working with our law enforcement partners on that. Whether you're here legally, not here legally, you really own the business, or you never owned a business, we're going to follow up and pursue that.
Before I yield back my time real quick, I just want to put out there that obviously being a part of oversight, we want to ensure that our taxpayer dollars are being safeguarded, right? But also, too, that government funds are not being used to largely incentivize and hurt people in the process. And so just to finalize, and maybe just your personal opinion, do you believe that because of this type of inappropriate spending, that it is putting people in harm's way that would potentially not be subject to this victimization?
So, as I said earlier, I don't think we've heard testimony that these programs weren't helpful to individuals. In fact, for many of them, like the PPP program, we've heard from small businesses that it saved them. For restaurants and the restaurant revitalization program, for unemployment insurance, we heard testimony about how it kept people afloat during this period. So we haven't heard testimony that the programs were a waste and useless. What we heard was there was a lack of preparation to issue the benefits. It resulted in fraud, a lot of identity fraud. And what we have heard is from how it victimized not just the public who lost the benefit of these programs to wrongdoers, it harmed the person whose identity was stolen. That individual has to deal with that. And it often harmed the individual who's intended to benefit, because they often struggle to get the benefits because the fraudster got there first.
Thank you.
And programs thought they were the fraudster.
Thank you. And before I leave, Chairman, would you please submit the record for the graphic for record? Thank you.
Without objection. And thank you for your questions. Just a note, they just called floor votes. We're going to get 2 more questioners in, then we'll recess and reconvene 10 minutes after votes. There are only 2 votes, and we move a lot quicker than Pelosi did. So the recess won't take long. But now the chair recognizes Mr. Conley for 5 minutes.
I thank the chair.